What exactly does this first shot in the new game intro tell us? Are the Riddler, Penguin, and Joker sharing the same cell? It's not like the three escape in the same group. You know, having one of your strong guys sitting on the hood of the truck while someone's driving it, not a good idea. Did someone put a bomb on that police car? What a random explosion when we only saw Catwoman whipping the man's pistol away. Calm down, guys. That's just a bad signal. Why is it that only the appearance of gold is what gets everyone interested? They seem pretty bored with the gold reserves. In fact, gold is kept at the gold reserves. That's what it's for. If I didn't know better, I'd say you criminals were bored of just gold. I'd be disappointed too. It's not like they used that particular key for anything in this story, not even for the gold reserves. Once we've made it to the bank vault, nothing matters but the key. Honestly, I'm not sure even the key matters for the Riddler's plan. No idea where the Riddler was going. This is one of those sets of levers where both need to be pulled at nearly the same time. The wall cling is stupid because not only is it not a necessity, it could get you away from the ledges of platforms where you need to go, which happen way more times than it should. Dude, you could get a lot more at the gold reserves. What are you even doing sticking around with the gold? Actor Basil Carlo turned into the murderous Clayface, a creature of shape-changing protoplasm. He now possesses incredible strength and can transform his clay-like body into any form. In that case, what do they need the key for? Couldn't he just transform himself into the key they need? No need to rob a bank. It's not like that's where you're hoping to grab all the gold. I can understand if it's for reference for the transformation, but it's not even that. Nowhere near. That cutscene contradicts the last thing we do with the villain variant. Riddler and Clayface weren't waiting for the explosion. It happened instantaneously when we jumped on the switch. Yeah, not sure what Robin thought was going to happen there. So, okay, you're probably wondering why I show the footage of the villain level one first rather than the one for the heroes. Well, I'm showing the footage in the order that makes sense given what these stories established. For those unfamiliar, let me explain. Unlike LEGO Star Wars and LEGO Indiana Jones, LEGO Batman, while based on already existing material, has an original story. It's not based on any particular movies, comics, TV show episodes, nothing like that. All this is basic Batman and Robin fight crime. Still though, the game is split into 3 separate episodes: The Riddler's Revenge, Power-Crazed Penguin, and The Joker's Return. All 3 of these episodes have a hero side of the story and a villain side of the story and can be played in any order. Of course, these episodes have a progression system, meaning you'd still have to play one level after another until you beat the episode. And the first level you play when you start a new game is the first hero level in The Riddler's Revenge. You don't even see the Batcave yet. In order to play the villain side of the story, you'd first have to complete the hero side, and that goes across each episode. For example, if I wanted to play the villain side of Power-Crazed Penguin, I'd have to first beat the same episode on the hero side, but that doesn't mean I get to play the villain side of the Joker's Return. I'd still have to beat the hero side of the Joker's Return first. There's nothing wrong with this particular restriction, really, but let me bring up the first title, The Riddler's Revenge? That implies that the Riddler is hatching a scheme for revenge against Batman, but all he's really doing is robbing the gold reserves. Is that part of his revenge? Is it all a trap specifically set for Batman? What is he getting revenge for? You really don't get a lot when these games don't use spoken dialogue in any of their cutscenes. If you want that, you'd have to play the game's sequel. I should also mention something you've likely already figured out just by the one discrepancy I noted between the hero and villain cutscenes. They're both sides of the story, so you'd think they'd take the time to keep up the continuity, but evidently there wasn't enough of that care. I'll be noting several continuity errors throughout this video. I'm just saying this so you're aware of what's ahead. The game has these suit swappers, which allows you to swap between different suits, giving you only what you need to beat the level. But it sounds a little silly to swap back into the regular suit ever once you get a new suit. The regular suit doesn't do anything. You only ever swap back to a previous suit in one particular level, and even then, neither of the suits are the normal one. At the end of the villain level, you'd see Clayface all obsessed with the gold, making his caressing a bar of silver a bit weird. You were already running in the direction of the truck. Why would you turn around? And what's Clayface even doing to help? Tripping Batman doesn't count. Freeze? I'm taking you out for ice cream. I know it's your favorite. We need your freeze cannon, and it's deep frozen in your old factory. Come on now. I hope you're not getting cold feet. Ha! This is supposed to be the Riddler's dialogue, but if you didn't know better, you'd think all this was said by the Joker. At the end of the first hero level for Riddler's Revenge, Batman threw a tracking device at the back of Two-Face's truck, meaning unless they had taken it off before getting back to base to discuss the theft of the freeze cannon, which evidently they didn't, given that Batman is able to track them later. Finding the Riddler's hideout without the need to solve all those crazy riddles should be a cinch, right? Saves trouble at least. I sit on the toilet. What? What does it matter that this game came out before Despicable Me? I can still make the freaking reference. But more importantly, why is this holographic image even a thing? This is pretty redundant. In order to move the platform up or down, I have to control the worker to pull the lever each time. Why not just pull to raise, then wait to lower? It's even worse because the first 2 times is to get this box up, then the second set is to get Mr. Freeze up there to push the box. The game puts this box up top for you to control the officer and push down so the villains below can build a ladder, but that's not necessary. You can just step on the switches in the correct order while still controlling the officer and boom! The rest of the SWAT team won't even try to stop you. They just sit there while you effortlessly beat the level without lifting a finger. I guess Mr. Freeze just cared less about his freeze cannon than his Mr. White Christmas choir, if this cutscene is to be believed. The villain level doesn't show Riddler and Mr. Freeze going anywhere near this part of the factory, so who froze these officers? Like, okay, there's the codes on the right side telling you how to flip the levers on the left side so that the 2 sides match, but I can already figure that out by looking at the smaller cones on the right. What is it, bilateral symmetry you're going for here? Since when does Batman need a separate suit just to glide? Any other incarnation I've seen had him able to just by his normal bat suit. What the heck do you mean I can't aim my batarang all the way over there? No, my brother, I refuse to call it a robberang. Robberang sounds stupid. No idea why the computer didn't just have Robin step onto the moving platform while they still had control of Robin. The way the freeze cannon was aimed at the door made it look like the Riddler planned to freeze the dynamic duo once they entered. In fact, why not do that? That sounded like the perfect idea. Also, something weird about the hero cutscenes, sometimes we see Batman and Robin in the suits they wore before the cutscene, other times we see them in the regular outfits. But why can't we decide between the two? Make up your mind, game! And to add further to it, anytime Batman's meant to be in his glide suit, he's shown in the cutscene to be wearing his normal cape. Why is that? Why not his glide pack? Oh, pshaw. As if Mr. Freeze can actually jump that high. The world's greatest detective falls for something so flimsy. Okay, sure, we didn't see Batman catch the batarang after Mr. Freeze was sent flying, but what a convenient next target right there. Or rather, the same target twice. Now, in the same cutscene, Robin's not wearing his magnet suit anymore. What are the rules, dang it? Took that batarang long enough. You know, they probably could have kept that music going into the results screen, but nope, let's make it jarring instead. I never really liked you, Ivy, but you're growing on me! Oh, that was good enough for the Joker. So then, let him tell all the jokes. The Lego donut hasn't been invented yet, so we can't do the copying a donut cliche, but we do have the Lego pizza. That's a good substitute. All they had to do after the flower was stepped on was hide behind that tree, but nope, girl's got a girl about flowers. The left side of the map is just a waste of time. You only really need to go to the right. The suits are definitely protective wear from the toxic gas, but what's protecting the scientists' faces from being affected? The last part of the level is just the worst. For starters, all the cops that keep flooding in. If you kill every officer in the area, several more spawn in immediately. And second, while I can figure out pretty easily how to turn on the middle and left side lamps to make these tall flowers bloom, the one on the right is extra tricky. You have to jump on it repeatedly. You can't just stand on it or whatever the heck. You have to do several quick jumps on the same platform in succession to raise that electrical box where it needs to be. Figuring that out wouldn't be so hard if it were for the cops that keep spawning in. Those cops are a huge distraction. You can't focus on solving the puzzle because you're trying to fend off these armed representatives of law enforcement. As a matter of fact, I hope this video plants it firmly in my brain this time what I need to do to activate the right side lamp, because I looked up a walkthrough just to remember what to do. As I said, I can't think with the freaking cops pouring into the room! We interrupt Lego Batman the video game to bring you American Beauty. Maybe you need better minions if they're just gonna screw around with the freeze cannon too much. I don't seem to remember the targets ever dropping mines in the level, so I was super confused when I died. Twice, actually. I found this out by accident, switching to Robin to tow the truck after damaging it enough, or really I rediscovered it, I think. Actually, it makes me wonder, it makes sense for the Batmobile to be able to tow vehicles after they've been damaged enough, but why is the Batcycle capable of that? With how small it is, I highly doubt it would have the strength to tow an armored truck. Are you just threatening them, or are you trying to use mind control? Because either way, you're looking pretty foolish. Poison Ivy Ex Machina. Also, it's worth noting that the heroes get a road level for Riddler's revenge, but the villains sadly do not. Come on, Lego. Yikes, Robin, do better parking the bike. The Sonic suit can be pretty annoying at times because I'd be pointing the sound gun right at the glass to try to break it, but it's just not happening until I'm further away or whatever weird combination of things are required for this suit to work. Sometimes when I hold the B button, the vacuum on the attract suit goes, but the cursor doesn't pop up to pick things up, so I have to let go of B, then start holding it again to get the thing working. No idea why that happens. How did I die? I was nowhere near the explosion. The heat protection suit is only mandatory for the story mode in one level. That's it. There may be other spots in other levels where the heat protection suit is required, but only accessible in free play because the story mode never provides it. When that leaf flung up like that, shouldn't that goon have been launched instead of falling straight down like that? Okay, now he just disappeared like magic. Weird. Now I gotta send the stupid AI again. Great. Yeah, beautiful swap, stupid. This room by itself isn't too bad, except the bad guys just keep coming. I'm not kidding. If you kill every enemy in the room, more will come in. It's not even like a cooldown or anything. Kill the last guy, boom, more bad guys come in immediately. And before you put anything in the comments like Batman does not kill, need I remind you that this is a Lego game. And in Lego games, when characters die, they break into pieces. Why bother changing the terminology just because it's Batman? This happened, so... It's super annoying that the camera feels the need to pan over to the toxic river for every flower I activate in order to cross. I get what they're trying to do, as in indicate that the flowers you jump on are causing these stepping stones to surface, but I think I'd have figured out on my own without the need for the camera to pan over. I'm just a mean green brother from outer space and I'm paid. Great boss fight, you guys. Just have an arena where all you do is mash on the boss once it's just you and her and no one else. Mindless button masher over here, though I guess that describes a good chunk of the boss fights in this game. What's with the sympathy? She wants to kill you, Dick. Scratch that. Dick Grayson is Nightwing now. She wants to kill you, Tim. Also, need I remind you that Robin is a teenager? Poison Ivy is all sorts of screwed up, but what does she care? It's not even real love anyway. Okay, in this part of the cutscene, Batman and Robin have their alternative suits, unlike the end cutscene for the second hero level. The van driver never noticed a sudden shift in his vehicle there? No, I cannot let this one go. This scientist is just straight up swimming in the toxic waste there. He's not even wearing a full body hazmat suit. The skin on his whole head should be melted off. This one just has the color pattern spelled out for you, and it's a dang pushover as a result. Remember the first color pattern the level provided you with? It gave you the order, yeah, but the colors also disappeared afterward. That one was more like a memory game. This one is just, oh, here's the password, 12345, the number on my luggage. The freeze cannon, the vine seeds, the super laser, and the key. All pieces of a glorious puzzle. Put them together, and what have we got? The Gotham Gold Reserves! I can see everything else, but where does the key fit in? For the last time this video, the key is never shown to be used for anything. You'd think someone with immense knowledge of Gotham like Batman would figure out the gold reserves more easily, wouldn't you? Look at the van's position! It's a wonder we were able to pass! I swear the Batarang is a good mechanic, but sometimes the targeting system just doesn't want to work and I never know why. Batman didn't follow me while I went across the ledges as Robin, which is weird. Whatever Robin could do, Batman could do better. That's no opinion. It's just a statement of fact. I mean, come on. The dynamic duo is Batman and Robin, not Robin and Batman. Does anyone else feel like a fried egg? You know, the end titles music from Batman 89 is a bit too short. Yep. All of the music in this game came from Batman 89, not an excerpt from Batman Returns or even the Schumacher films. You had Riddler and Penguin as villains. Tracks from those respective movies would have been a treat, don't you think? Maybe for the credits, use the credits music from Batman Returns. You're already using the track from Batman 89 for the results. This plan is pretty much the finale of Batman Returns. These aren't exactly great places to put the Penguin boxes until the plan is fully ready and in motion. Bane, it's Penguin here. The satellite dish we need for the Penguin transmitter has just been delivered to the docks. With your fists and my brains, nothing can stop us. Tear down the city for all I care. Just get me the dish. Bane doesn't need to tear down the city. You already told him where the dish had been delivered. That is such a huge tease. Doesn't that look like an entryway to another area, but you can't even go through? Why is it even there? Yeah, I guess there's no need for the dynamic duo to deal with Bane. He already took care of himself. Also, they really need some muscle men or a monster truck or some super strong pull when they're dealing with Bane. And this really isn't the best answer. What if Bane wakes up or that rope breaks? Both of which very liable to happen, by the way. This bit in the cutscene stands in contradiction to the dialogue from before, where Penguin approached Catwoman about the diamond. But here, Catwoman just shows him a newspaper photo and he's all like, yeah, this is what we need for the Penguin transmitter. What an image to incorporate into a Lego game. Oh my freaking gosh, it's a dinosaur. Holy crap. What the heck? Nice going, Catwoman. Penguin's plane would be going a lot smoother if you didn't care that much for valuables. Shoot at her! Unless you got your pistols confused for your privates? What are you useless officers of the law doing? The end of the second villain level shows Batman to be in much closer proximity to Catwoman than this cutscene shows. I'm fighting her already? She didn't even get her own little cutscene introducing her before the fight started? Oh, it's just one fight I have with her? I knew this level was too short. I turned the crane for the specific purpose of Robin crossing the metal underside, so the CPU really should have had him keep up. 10 hearts? I'm fighting Catwoman, but why have 9 lives when you can have 10? Oh, shut up, Tim. Before I show you Batman Returns, then you'll have something to be truly scarred by. That must be one powerful submarine if it could hold up a big police boat like that. According to this game's logic, clearing the toxic barrels quickly clears away the toxic waste in the water. According to reality, yeah, no, that water's still polluted. Gosh, these switches are annoying to hit. It didn't seem so bad before, but why in this particular area is it so hard? The police watercraft isn't quite as annoying to fight as what the heroes had to deal with for their water level, but it can still be a chore to line up with your torpedoes. The Penguin's special submarine allows him to commit crimes from beneath the waters of Gotham Docks. He can dive below the surface to sneak up on his enemies and fire torpedoes at them. Cool sub, but not cool enough for what the end of this level showcases. First off, can this hint decide whether it wants to spell torpedoes with an E, which is the correct way to do it, or is it going to drop the E, which would just be wrong? Second, why do these torpedoes only affect red, yellow, and green Lego pieces? What makes the other colors so different? See, because the submarine shown before we start the level has the number U-98 on it. This one has U-99. What's up with that? Dragging the mines to destroy the metal parts of this sub is such a drag, especially with the penguins chasing you around. The penguins that can only be destroyed by Robin's torpedoes. Then, once all the metal's gone, you just fire away at it while also trying not to die and lose too many studs. What a boss, huh? Robin survives. Of course he survives this. He's a Lego. Also, I could tell the render just popped into existence by that shadow there. See that? Your shadow betrays you, Robin. Bah! My beloved feline companion! Stolen! What's that? Rescue her? But the operation! My beautiful machine! Risk it all? Yes, of course she's worth it. I was just waiting for the right moment. Sure you were. Don't you need the Gotham Diamond for your plan to work? Why are you even debating this? These are just the pipes from Super Mario. I didn't pull this safe immediately after uncovering the orange handle because I didn't see it because of the stupid camera angle. Yeah, not a great angle for doing something important. So the fuse only goes as long as the bomb is being rolled, but that doesn't make any sense. Oh, whatever, who cares? Was Robin seriously thinking of trying to crane kick that crocodile? This one time, just this one time, before we came into this area, Batman was wearing the demolition suit, but then he had to switch to the glide suit to cross this gap. Then once he and Robin activate this bridge in the gap, it's back to the demolition suit to blow this cover. This is the only time in the game's story mode when you'd swap into a new suit, then go back to the old suit once you're done with what you were doing with the new suit. It's just this one single spot in the game. All you do is fight, dodge stuff, fight, dodge stuff, fight, dodge stuff, and he takes 14 hits. No, not bullcrap. Let me reiterate that. 14 hit points. And this boss fight is lame as dirt. Calm down, we're just going to the zoo for investigation purposes. This is why Robin sucks. He's getting harassed by frogs. The game is clearly registering me hitting this one goon as evidenced by the increasing score multiplier, so why isn't he dying? I'm not sure I get why that would happen just from Man-Bat getting spun around. The time has come. Our perfect team has built my perfect dream, brick by brick, a tower into the sky, unleashing penguins across the city. Don't snicker. Let's just say there'll be a blast. Eh? Yes, of course I mean that they explode! Yeah, no, this is basically the plan from Batman Returns, only with self-destructing penguins instead of missile launchers. I could believe Catwoman and Penguin not being seen by the dynamic duo before they get to the ship, but when they found Man-Bat, he was below deck. If he lost consciousness at the point in which this cutscene shows, I highly doubt we would have needed to go below deck in order to fight him. Also, Man-Bat is a character you have to purchase in this game. You don't ever get to play as him in the villain's story mode. Riddler's Revenge had you playing as every villain in the episode, which justified the villain selected just by itself. Here, at least Bane was useful for something in the story, even if the heroes never fought him. But why is Man-Bat even here? This is just what the Penguin imagined would happen, right? Because playing as the heroes, the outcome is very different. Dang, that was fast. I've been playing the level not even 2 minutes and already I'm fighting the episode's final boss. Yeah, why were you even fanning the umbrella to begin with? Wow, did I even have time to blink? That level didn't even last 5 minutes. How interesting. We didn't even fight Bane at all as the heroes. Make sure you played the villain side, folks. That's cheating. This plot the Joker has is pretty much what he tried to do in Batman 89. You know, the movie with all the Prince songs? That's right, the Mad Hatter is only fought against, never played as in the villain story mode, making him another character you have to purchase, just like with the Man-Bat. What does he even do in this story? Crazy to think, but even though the Joker is probably the most iconic Batman villain, the Riddler's Revenge handled its villains best. Not only do Batman and Robin get to fight them all in the episode, you also get to play them all in the villain story mode. Power-crazed Penguin, you don't get to fight Bane or play as Man-Bat, and the Joker's Return, you do fight all the villains, but there's one you don't get to play as. Huh. This website is called www.awesomecapes.com, which used to be an actual site but is no longer available. Let me just put that into the Wayback Machine, and holy crap, if you actually took note of the URL of this particular scene, you can access a couple cheat codes in the game. Thing is, though, you can't pause the cutscene, so good thing this camera has a zoom and enhance feature, right? Also, does Joker know there's a camera that high right there? Is that why he's waving at it? Just Joker being Joker? Is that a rocket? What does Robin need to carry a rocket that big with a Batcopter for? Last time I left that machine, it was near the disposal collector on the right side of the first area. Now it's right near this metal door? Why build 2 forklifts? You only really need 1. The Joker's signature is all over this delivery. Doesn't it seem a bit strange this would be provided? This is hardly much of a puzzle. There's only 3 lights, and if you just try one combination after another without finding the solution in the shack, you have a good chance of guessing. But didn't you want this to happen? Isn't the whole idea of the trap to capture Gordon in order to lure Batman to you? Is the surprise because of the police detail? You already dealt with plenty of cops before you got to this area, so what's the deal? So I can't blow up the fencing itself with the bat bombs, but if I blow up metal objects near same fencing, I can get through? No, the logic is perfectly sound, makes perfect sense. Harley just gave Joker 1 big smooch on the lips, but there's 3 smooches on his face and not a single one on his lips. Note that red dot on the right side is not a smooch. This is basically all the boss fight is, just ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes till Quinn falls down. In between, we deal with an onslaught of enemies, but that's it. Please tell me that was on purpose and not just stormtrooper aim. So many obstacles to send Batman crashing to the ground. I'm so excited! Yeah, that last bit about the obstacles, we don't really do much of that, at least not for Batman. You maybe thought dragging the bomb around on the water level was bad, but until you play the flying stages, you ain't seen crap. The bomb slides around so much, and it's hard to navigate it safely around the buildings. Okay, what exactly is Scarecrow doing by grabbing this helpless chap who had just proposed? Is he just being a troublemaker? I'm sorry, I thought these were criminals escaped from a mental institution, not just plain everyday hooligans. Batman commits destruction to property just by this act. The first 2 times you hit the Scarecrow isn't too bad, but on the 3rd hit, they really get stingy with opportunity here. Like, I had the Batcopter tow the Scarecrow, then I switched to the Batwing, and all too quickly the cable breaks. It's so fast! Now, where are we? Ah! Gotham Art Gallery! The Art Gallery? This whole episode is essentially Batman 89 bingo! The Art Gallery! What's next, some Prince songs? They survive this. What's the point of this rideable car being here? You immediately beat the level just by going through that open doorway. The only real advantage to hopping across these wood boards is getting more studs, but you could just run across the net below, so... Wait, huh? Was I really that close to the fire? Dude, this is the best tie I've been on. A giant mech. It just came out of some human-sized purple and green box. Wicked, huh, bruh? Shouldn't Harley be in Arkham by now, or at least close to the facility? It's a bit silly that you can only stomp the trucks when they open up to let the officers out. Gives an incentive for challenge, I guess, but how the heck does that make sense? This is a huge contradiction to what the end cutscene of the villain level shows. The Batwing shows up, shines a light on Killer Moth, and he starts flying towards it. But here, Batman hasn't even reached the area yet. He only came after Gordon contacted him. Oh look, it's the disco tile room from LEGO Star Wars and LEGO Indiana Jones, only this time with more pedestrians in your way. We interrupt LEGO Batman the video game to bring you Disco. Killer Moth Repellent Bat Spray. If only all of Gotham could be this beautiful, Harley. So hollow and empty! Wouldn't that get pretty boring? So there's a trapdoor and a ladder going into the trapdoor. It's an area you can access, but let's talk about it for a bit. Before we got to the belfry, we had to climb a ladder after opening a door. Examining the area underneath the trapdoor, it's obvious that it wasn't the same ladder the game had us climb. So if that's the last ladder we needed to climb for the belfry, there's something missing. Namely, a door frame or some way to move between different parts of the passageway. I think the architect for this cathedral screwed up big time. Wow, what a troll tease. And this villain ending goes pretty hard, even for a kid's game. The Joker's clown-like appearance and big smile hide a devious mind bent on creating as much trouble as possible for his archenemy, Batman. Not really, if anything, I feel like the getup only makes it more clear. Hey, easy on the ammunition there, Rambo. There's nothing to shoot at. This really is Batman 89. One of the final hurdles is ascending the cathedral. Just added more villains and you got something new. Just ignore the fact that you're also using the same music. I don't really see the point of Harley and Joker hiding in the bells now that they've revealed themselves, unless they wanted deafness. They survived this. So you knock them out and then just stop right there? He even does the fake bang gag on himself. Batman 89! What are they even grappling to after seeing the bat signal? There's nothing in front of them as far as I could see. Technically, you only really need to beat the first 4 levels of Riddler's Revenge and the first 3 levels of Power Crazed Penguin to unlock all the suits for Batman and Robin, but because of the way the game is programmed, in order to unlock the villains you need, you have to play through all 3 episodes on the hero side to unlock Arkham Asylum, in turn unlocking the villain levels. On the villain side, you only need to beat 3 levels of Riddler's Revenge and 1 level each from Power Crazed Penguin and Joker's Return in order to have access to all the characters you'll ever need to nab each and every collectible at free play. That notwithstanding, you'd still have to play through every level at free play in order to achieve 100% completion in the game. But the main point here is that unlike in LEGO Star Wars or LEGO Indiana Jones, you don't need to make any purchases for free play. And the Minikit detectors there? Yeah, I went and played through Power Crazed Penguin villain levels 3 and 4 first, actually. But I'm still showing the level footage in order to keep things from getting too disjointed, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, the reason I played those specific levels first is because the red bricks for those are Minikit and red brick detectors respectively. And honestly, I feel like I kinda need them in order to achieve 100% completion in a huge chunk of these LEGO games. There's just a lot of exploration to do, and sometimes the Minikits and red bricks are hidden in places I wouldn't think to look. I found that out when I was sitting LEGO Indiana Jones, and I honestly don't think I could ever go back to not using these extras. No, it's not cheating if the game allows it. But also, there's no detectors for the hostages. For those, you gotta go hunting, and it wouldn't be so bad if the episodes also told you how many hostages you saved in each one. But nope, you gotta actually go into the vehicle and check the level markers themselves. Basically, the minifigure head is smiling if you save the hostage, and frowning if you didn't. So make sure you don't miss them. Now, let's talk about the red bricks. What they do differs depending on whether you're playing the hero levels or the villain levels. The hero levels give you suit upgrades, for example, a faster walk with the magnet suit, or the demolition suit stopping bullets. The villain levels give you the extras, which are a highly standard practice in LEGO video games, so that's where they are. The main difference is that once you purchase suit upgrades, they're enabled the rest of the game, but with the extras, it's just like with every other LEGO video game. You have to toggle them manually. The very idea can do no wrong. But there is one little bug I faced with the suit upgrades. Anytime you load the game after taking a break from it, the suit upgrades, whether you purchase them or not, are disabled by default. All you have to do to fix this is go to the back computer, go to the suit upgrades, and scroll through them. Only then will the suit upgrades you purchased be re-enabled again. I don't even think that's supposed to happen, and is one of those developer oversights that happens occasionally with video games, but that also makes it one of those bugs that's left to the player, not the developer, to fix, which isn't exactly a good thing to me. I didn't work on the game, therefore the onus should not be on me to deal with the bugs I encounter while I'm playing, especially if it's a big part of the game. Well, okay, it's true that the extras are also off by default when you load the game, but you at least know immediately you can toggle them manually without having to do any extra bullcrap to get the game to work. Every now and then, the computer will switch to the appropriate character to follow you as you play it through on free play, but sometimes they just don't. Could never figure out why. Remember when I said that you don't have to make any purchases to grab the collectibles in free play? This is the exception. In order to get 2 of the minikits in the 3rd hero level of Riddler's Revenge, you need to purchase 2 vehicles. They are the Joker's ice cream van and Harley Quinn's hammer truck. Now, I did purchase every vehicle in the game, but it's just those 2 that you need for this one level. Weird how the only things you need to purchase to grab all the collectibles is 2 vehicles for the only road stage in the game. I somehow don't think the game should have killed me for this. Remember how I was annoyed by this room for the respawning enemies? The problem exasperates when trying to get the red brick. Oh, the enemy's not gonna respawn now? I'm both disappointed and relieved. This is one example of how am I supposed to know I could do this. Has any other LEGO game had you go such a distance between tasks to switch characters or risk dying? Because that's what this game's doing. You'd think you'd have to jump on top of this box the way the top is shaped like a panel, but nope, get in the car and drive into it. Oh, come on, were they just waiting for me in the garage? What? This puzzle sucks, and a lot of that has to do with how it doesn't detect you hopping on the squares until like a couple seconds after the correct pattern is showed. And the fact that it's 9 squares you have to remember for the pattern just adds to the frustration. We interrupt LEGO Batman the video game to bring you Disco. Again. Don't ask me where that penguin bomb came from because I just straight up can't tell you. The CPU was controlling Batman in his glide suit. They didn't have to wait for me to build the wire for him to cross. Didn't like towing the bomb? Tried towing it into a pool of toxic waste to destroy a metal container with a Minikit inside it. All while controlling a boat that isn't immune to toxic waste. Also, yep, I fooled you again. With the vehicle levels, as a matter of fact, at minimum, you do have to beat them for the collectibles. Beat all 5 vehicles and purchase Joker's ice cream van and Harley Quinn's hammer truck, and ha! Boom, baby! You can now collect all the minikits and red bricks while spending the least amount of money possible. Hooray for saving money! Didn't like it the first time? Now you gotta do it again. Seriously? This one's hard, not just for the boating controls, but more for the pattern of the buoys. Could they be any more confusing? LEGO Batman, you know, the one where you yourself commit a crime in the hero level that takes place at the zoo, blowing up the gates to an enclosure allowing animals to escape? Nice going, Cape Crusader, you just doomed Gotham. We interrupt LEGO Batman the video game to bring you the journey of Christopher Columbus. Come on, blow up! blow up, dang it! For the third time, we interrupt LEGO Batman the video game to bring you... disco? These instruments don't look even remotely disco. Also, the very next year would bring us LEGO Rock Band. I wonder if this moment ties into that somehow. Probably not. Why is it that the penguin bombs only blow up these metal poles when you take them through the penguin hatch first? This isn't a bad use of your time putting the fish in the correct color bowls, but sometimes you keep hooking the other character. Maybe the other character shouldn't be standing so close to the fish hook if this is going to keep happening. And they were consistent about putting the blue fish in the left hole and the red fish in the right hole until the fifth pair. Then they decide to switch it up because... reasons. This one is just annoying. In 2 slides, you have to pass through all 3 gates in the same color in order to complete that set. It could take you several tries to get this, and you have no idea how much this challenge tested my freaking patience. Especially when sometimes I pass through a gate, it doesn't register, and you have so little time to get all the gates before they reset. I remember how much I struggled with this mini kit because each time you play the level, you only get 1 chance for this. That's right, 1 chance, go through all 5 gates for the mini kit. If you miss one, you gotta play through the whole level again. I thought I was gonna struggle with it again while recording the gameplay footage, but I got it on my first try in free play, thankfully. Needless to say, this one was a pain. Even with score ×2 on, it's still a hefty amount of studs to grab just to get the supervillain bar to fill up. I mean, jeez! You really need the other multipliers to have a better chance. So Mr. Freeze can walk through toxic puddles and swim in polluted waters, but this damages him? The CPU does realize that Joker is immune to toxic waste, right? So why isn't he joining me in all these puddles? Isn't this game just so nice by having me fight bad guys while jumping across ice blocks I had just formed? There's too many that won't let me get back on, you dang jerkweeds! Get off my ice! Well, there's another one for Schwarzenegger. So I was trying to zap the goon that was holding the hostage, but I zapped the hostage by mistake. The game didn't register the hostage was saved, so I wasn't exactly sure if I still saved the hostage until I got the rest of collectibles. Once I got back to the Batcave after that, I checked the level again and... yeah, I did save the hostage. I killed him. So... I had to play through it again just to have another chance. This one didn't really give me any trouble, but the yellow house might look a shade way too similar to the green house. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to do this without the Scarecrow moving on to the next area. I can only seem to destroy the gargoyles with the Batwing for some reason. Have you ever seen a Minikit route this complicated? Is there an easier way to get it, or is the game just messing with me? Who are you and where did you come from? You need to knock down these water towers in order to get the Minikit, but there's one thing I find highly disorienting. The Minikit detector tells you where the towers are, but they don't go away until you get the Minikit after knocking them all down. So I'm flying around looking at the detectors and having no clue what to do because I forgot those were towers I knocked down, but when Traveler's Tales drops the ball, they eventually pick it up in later games. No idea how this counts your laps. It's clearly not in sync with you crossing the gap between the markers. In order to get one of the mini-kits in the last villain level, you need to shoot both of the foreground bells at the same time. But that's impossible for just one player. This is the only mini-kit in the game that requires you to connect a second controller. I'd feel much more comfortable if the computer player hopped on the other gun and shot at the same time as me, but nope. What a strange choice to have Two-Face's truck as a mini-kit for the hero level where you fight Poison Ivy. And this one fits more with the villain level that has Killer Moth. In the LEGO universe, anything is possible. Bruce Wayne appears to have left 1 million studs lying around Wayne Manor. I guess it's only 1 million out of however rich he is. I guess he must have been feeling way too generous on this particular day. Yeah, not only does destroying most of the breakables not give you any studs, there are only purple studs this whole level. Each purple stud is worth 10,000, so in total, you'd have to collect 100 of them in order to beat the bonus level. That notwithstanding, it feels like a tease that a lot of the breakables don't even provide you with any studs at all. We interrupt LEGO Batman the video game to bring you Super Mario. Half of the studs you need to collect are in this segment, and when I was younger, I've always hated this part of the level. As an adult, my thoughts aren't much more positive. You have to use these machines to pull these balls around to destroy the fans, but the balls feel so heavy to drag around, and if they approach the fans too slow or if they're still for too long, they explode. You could just push the balls around without the machines if you want. You'd have just as much fun playing that way. In the LEGO universe, anything is possible. A criminal mastermind has left 1 million studs lying around Arkham Asylum for some other lucky criminal to find. Collect them all before someone else does. Even in a LEGO universe that's pretty arbitrary, leaving a million studs just for some other lucky criminal, no one in particular, just leave the studs and boom, it's a free-for-all for all the money you've left around the mental facility in which you were an inmate. Then once you get into the maze, you got a bunch of vehicles and a bunch of enemies running around all hotfoot. Seriously, look at the trail they leave behind. They can't die by hand-to-hand combat, only by getting run over by a vehicle. Too bad the maze doesn't have a pool or something to cool off the hotfoot. This is a massive concern right here. A vast majority of these vehicles are pretty much useless because they don't do a dang thing. Can't tow, can't bomb, can't even shoot. Like Bruce Wayne's private jet or the garbage truck. You don't even need to purchase most of them for free play. Both of these are practically the same thing. Why would you put the same cutscene twice in this menu? The wood used to carve the dummy Scarface is from Gotham's gallows tree, where prisoners of Gotham's Blackgate prison were given the ultimate punishment. Okay, not only are we talking about Scarface, we're talking about the gallows and prisoners being given the ultimate punishment. In a game made for kids. Dang. Catwoman uses an 8-foot-long braided leather bullwhip as her weapon of choice. Uses and... Wow. I spotted a spelling error and I feel nothing. The end of this video? Yeah, I'd say so. What a funny piece of data to end on.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?